Hello, I'm Dr. Chris, and I'm here today to talk about allergies. Uh, One of the things I want to say is allergies are not normal. And even though many people have allergies, and it's very common, it does not make it normal. Now, about 40% of the population, 40% of the population have allergies. And that means 60% of the people are getting it right. But why is it so dominant? Why do so many people have allergies? Why do we trigger? I mean, we've all grown up. You live in the same area, you breathe the same pollen every year, but yet some people begin to develop allergies as time goes on. Especially the people that develop it as they get older, there's usually, to me, that's a suspect. There's something going on that's changing in the person's body. And so what I want to talk about today is what is actually changing. There's actually 5 areas that we need to look at. And all of those areas, the purpose of them is to create balance. I believe that the body, when it's in balance, does not express any symptoms. And so the goal of life is to try to keep bringing your health back into this, we'll call homeostasis or normalcy. A couple of weeks ago, we did a talk about how to heal allergies from a holistic perspective. And in that, I talked about the science and the enzymes and how things are working in the body. So if you want to go to our YouTube channel, or you can check down the feed here a little bit, it'll be there as well. You can see the more details of it that way. But today I want to actually talk a little bit differently, some things that you can actually do right now in the moment to make the changes. All right, so let's get started. So first things first, the nervous system. As it says behind me, the nervous system holds the key to the body's incredible ability to heal. And that's absolutely true. So when the nervous system is under stress, the immune system is also under stress as a result. So the body shifts and changes its gears when that stress is on the nervous system. So by changing the stress on the nervous system, and this is a very physical thing to do, we do it here at the office, what's called an adjustment. The adjustment changes the angles, changes the position of the vertebra so the body can actually communicate. In other videos, we talk about how that works, but really think of it real simply. I have a vision of a vertebra looking like a hand, like almost like a hammock, right here. Picture this scenario. So imagine a hammock, and a hammock is held to the trees by cords, right? And when you move, that hammock has to stay in that one position. And so the cords will tighten or loosen in order to keep that exactly where it needs to be. Well, what happens is if you move a wrong way or put some stress on it and those cords pull too much, that vertebra, or in this analogy, the hammock, will move out of position. So you didn't have to do anything major. You didn't have to fall down the stairs to make your vertebra misalign. You just had to have the wrong tension. Maybe the muscles were too weak. Maybe the tissue was a little irritated because of some work you did over the weekend. Maybe you did pick up something too heavy, or maybe you fell down the stairs. But whatever it was that caused that to shift, now it's stuck in that position. And until you actually motivate it to go back into position, it's going to stay that way. And the clearances are so small that that nerve gets pinched. And in some cases, those nerves control, the sinus, they control the lymph nodes, they control the immune system, really where it sits. And it stops your body from performing its duties properly. And so this loss of balance or loss of homeostasis is what can contribute to an allergy. When we do adjust people, we don't say we're going to clear your allergies from adjustments. We do say we're going to clear the interference. But once the interference is gone, the body can begin to perform its task properly. Excuse me. Number 2 thing you need to do is improve your nutrition. And I'm not talking about taking vitamin C and vitamin D and all these like high doses of individual nutrients. I'm actually talking about having all of the nutrients. When the body is presented with all the nutrition it needs on a daily basis, because there are 90 essential vitamins and minerals that you need every single day to run all the functions of your body. If you get all 90 of those into your body every single day, you're now going to have the ability. If you don't have enough, your body will actually pull from certain systems. And the immune system is one of those kind of sidelining systems that is not as important in certain moments. When there's an emergency going on in the body, the immune system shuts off. And so you pull nutrition from that, and you actually shut down the the nervous system. You shut down the immune system. So we recommend something like this. This product here, we use this company called Isogenics. I found this was the best one. It tastes really good. It has it hits all the barriers, meaning like there's no soy, there's no gluten. It's got low glycemic. It tastes good. It dissolves well. It has all the vitamins and minerals. The nutrition come from plant-based sources, as well as the enzymes are still in there as well. So it's a really, really good product. I myself been using it since I think 2006, and my whole family does. Putting 2 shakes a day into your body would be equivalent to having nearly 6,000 calories in food, meaning to get the same calories or same nutrition from food, you'd have to eat such a wide variety and so much of it to get the same nutrition. So 2 shakes controls your calories, fills you up, and really gives you all the nutrition you need. Right. So the next thing, the third thing to focus on to remove allergies would be to move. And that includes strengthening your body, which then helps the nervous system because it helps that hammock we were talking about. But also the movement helps to make you sweat. You perspire, you push out toxins. The movement moves the lymph around your body, which is a vital part of the immune system, because the lymph collects all the waste products from your tissues, and if they sit there, they become irritants, and then of course now we're out of balance, and now we're into that reduction of the immune system. So the lymph gets to move, the blood gets to flow, the body gets to filter out more, you sweat more out. So movement's absolutely vital. Getting that heart rate up is really important. The next one to talk about is stress. I'll go a little deeper on this one. So stress centers on the adrenal gland. And the adrenal gland is an organ that produces hormones that puts you either in fight or flight or rest and heal. Most of us are in fight or flight all the time. It's not just emotional triggers, but there are physical triggers. There's dehydration as a trigger. Anything that's a stress to the body triggers this adrenal system to go into action. And once it's into action, you're in a state called fight or flight. And so this fight or flight actually stops you from healing. It takes away the immune system. It shuts down the digestive system. It shuts down, reproduction, and increases heart rate. It just really wreaks havoc with the system. Short term, normal, it's fine, it happens. Long term, that's going to cause the constant breakdown of the body. And so if you don't repair the system, you're going to end up with adrenal fatigue and multiple symptoms as a result. Now, what do we do in the office? This is the one thing I do use as a targeted nutrition. We call it the stress and adrenal support. It's got certain nutrition that the adrenals need. When you drink the Isogenics, yes, you're going to get lots of the same nutrition. There's B vitamins in there. There's B vitamins in here, for example. There's vitamin C. There's vitamin C. The thing is, though, that you need more when you're under those stresses. So this is going to target that. So when we rebuild the adrenal system, we make sure people have this supplement on hand. When you're dealing with allergies, that's the first thing you want to do. Within 2 weeks of taking that adrenals, what we find is people have more energy and they start to feel a little bit better. This particular step might take a little bit longer because we have to actually rebuild the adrenal glands, but you want to start as soon as possible, especially now since the pollen season is beginning to really go into action. So the sooner you start taking those, the faster the body can begin to repair itself. It can have all the nutrition it needs, and again, bringing it back into that homeostasis or that balance. So the thing I really want to talk about today, the depth of it, is actually your environment. The last category is, we call it the toxic category. So most people know about allergies. They know to stay out of the pollen. They want to come indoors, they turn the air conditioning on, and they find it's relieving. But that's no way to live a life. You can't live indoors all the time. Go outside, get attacked by pollen, you have to stay inside. I remember my own mother used to stay inside, and we'd be outside playing, and she couldn't come out because her allergies were so bad. So there's a couple things you can do. So inside, of course, there's having the proper filters on the air system. But on top of that, you want to make sure you have 2 pieces of equipment that are absolutely vital to your clearing of this house. Number one is a good vacuum. and number 2 is an air purifier. When I say a good vacuum, it's not Dyson, it's not a Hoover. Those things, especially the new ones, have these bagless systems, and I don't care how good they are. I had a Dyson for a short time. It clogged up. It had a filter inside the dust bag, which never made sense, and the filter got clogged. And so now it killed the suction, and it clogged it up. Now, on top of that, it has rubber seals that over time begin to wear out. So when you put that clip into the device, the seals begin to wear and they rub and they open up little gaps. And what happens is, as you're using the vacuum, the gaps are exhausting all the dust in its full capacity. So I used to find that when I would vacuum, I'd start on one side of my room and I go around the room. By the time I come back around again, that surface was already dusty again. And I go, what am I doing here? On top of that, people don't know where to look for dust. So there's a device. We don't use dust rags. We don't use Swiffers. We use this little device with our vacuum cleaner. This is the brush attachment. So what you do is you go over all the little knickknacks and over the tops of the doors and around the pictures and over the top of the light switches and the little indents on the door frame, like on the door itself, it has like a little indent. You go across that with the vacuum cleaner, and you actually suck in the dust into here. It's not being dispersed, right? It's picking up 100%, and then it's going into the system. And if you have the proper vacuum with the proper filters and the proper exhaust system, then you are absolutely catching dust. The system we use collects up to 99.9% of the dust particles, down to I think it's 0.1 microns or 0.3 microns, I forget exactly. But it's basically smaller than bacteria and viruses, so it catches them all into the system. The other, and if I'm misquoting it, vacuum cleaner guys, I'm sorry. If you are curious about what we use, please private message me and I'll get you the information. The second thing we use is a proper air filter. Air filters have to be large enough for the space, has to also then be able to move the air through the system. You have to catch the particles, have to be pulled into the system, caught by a proper vacuum, by a proper filter, and then there has to be something to make sure you kill whatever's being caught, because you are catching viruses and bacteria and mold and so on, and so that needs something to kill it. Ours uses a blue light. There are other systems that have more of an active, where they go out into the room, but they're designed to kill the virus before they capture it. Right? So you have to kill the virus, then you capture it, and you actually have a clean room. So using that is going to help. Now, what do you do when you go outside the house? Okay, you can't breathe. You're going to be exposed to the dust. We are all using masks right now. These N95s are very helpful, but even those, they fit a little better, and even though they have some gaps, the cloth masks, forget it. There's wide open gaps. There's nothing protecting you from that. So they're a little bit good. There's something else we find was much better. So most of the receptors are actually in your sinus passageways. It's different when you breathe in through your mouth. The dust comes in, the pollens come in, the acids and so on in your mouth tend to neutralize it, so you don't get as much a response by breathing through your mouth. But it seems like when you breathe through your nose, it hits those receptors and it triggers off the bells. So we use a system called this. It's the First Defense nasal screen. We also have these in the office. And the purpose of this, they're little, they almost look like little round Band-Aids. But the center of it, instead of being the bandage, is actually a filter. And so you put them over top of your sinus passageways, one on each side, and then you breathe through your nose when you're outside, and it captures and blocks the pollen. My wife uses these all the time because she has some chemical allergies, and these help when you go like to the mall and they have those kiosks with the perfume, and the department stores have the perfume aisles, and the stores have all that candles. This helps to filter that too for her, so she doesn't get the headaches and the migraines. If you have allergies, this works. Even going forward, as the masks come off for COVID, using that over your nose would be a really good idea. You don't see them. They're so small because they're just right over the nasal passageways. So you don't feel like you're an outsider, but yet you can still be protected with the viral protection. It's not as good as an N95, but it's way better than a cloth mask. And of course, it's non-visible, so you can be in a crowded room. No one would know you had this on. So that's some things you can do right now. You get the right vacuum, you clean your house properly, you get the nasal passageways so you can go outside. And the last thing you want to do is I want you to throw away all the poison you have in your house. Yeah, I said it, it's poison. If you're using perfume, if you're using laundry soaps, if you're using some of these, national brand shampoos, conditioners, soaps, and cleaners and makeups, chances are they're loaded with chemicals. I can give you a long list of statistics of how many chemicals are in there and what they do. But one of the major things that they do is, on minimum, they stimulate the immune system and they stimulate the nervous system. On maximum, they can cause cancer. They can interfere with your hormonal systems and affect your function, right? So you get rid of those. That's the first step. Throw them in the garbage and you replace them with products that don't have it. The most important one, if you could start with one, if you only gave me one, I would say throw away the laundry soap. The laundry soap, the dryer sheets, the fabric softeners have the most toxic substances on there. And one of the things that happens with laundry soap is the ingredient in laundry soap, and it's got a big long name, but the ingredient in there is something that triggers your immune system. And depending on your genetics, will either trigger you to have autoimmune responses or will trigger you to have allergy responses. And so many people are using these products, and we're seeing so many allergies and autoimmune issues that I recommend that you throw them in the garbage. That's the Tide, the Cheer, all those national brands, gone. You got to watch some of the other brands too. They still have some of the same ingredients. The one I found that had the best, you guys all see this in the office. It's called BioPack. It's a laundry liquid. This is a gallon. You don't need much, especially if you have a high efficiency washer. This says you get about 128 loads out of it. It costs like 15, 16 bucks. I get it at the local health food store over here in Little Silver. You can buy it online, I'm sure, but this is a fantastic product. It cleans the clothes. It makes the right amount of suds. And there's no smell. There's no smell whatsoever. So you've got children that are allergic. You've got yourself who have allergies and sensitivities. You get migraines. Get rid of all that garbage. Replace it with this. You're going to see a huge difference. All right. So the theme here today, if you understand it, is get rid of the garbage. You're going to balance your environments. You're going to balance your body and bring everything into this harmony. If you can do that, you will never have allergies again, I believe. So I promise you that you can do this. It's not that hard. You can make these changes. If you need help, that's what we're here for. Call me, message me, make an appointment on our website. Whatever you got to do, find a way to get out of this loop that you're in and let me help you. All right. Again, I'm Dr. Chris, and I hope to see you soon.